Hello, friends! Today we'll continue our exploration of Blitzkrieg 3 gameplay, this time looking at the defensive side of asynchronous multiplayer. We'll see how we can build the most effective defenses for our base and our control points. But first, we'll see a replay of a battle that's already taken place. That will be an enemy attempt to fight through my own defenses. There's the replay button, so we can see what happened. But first, a few general observations. Always pay attention to the terrain and take advantage of natural obstacles. You see, there's a rocky hill that covers my base. I added some obstacles of my own, mined the forest, all to push the opponent into the area where I want the main fighting to take place. So, let's watch the battle, learn where our defensive plan could be improved, and then spend some time working on our defenses. I wasn't happy with how the enemy could destroy 2 of my 3 artillery guns, leaving me without artillery support. But let's see how the battle goes, and then we'll spend a little time making more challenging defenses. So, we loaded the replay, and here comes the enemy. Let's skip the part where he assigns his hotkeys and begin as his scout pulls up to the hill. He's going to discover my artillery installation, and right away, he'll destroy it. So the enemy approaches here, takes a look around, and there it is. Our artillery was destroyed so fast! I know this side is mostly impassable, so I concentrated on the other side when I was testing my defenses earlier. Well, the reconnaissance continues, and he stumbles onto our self-propelled guns. There's our anti-tank gun, and the enemy falls into an ambush. He turns a bit, and he's done for. However, he has accomplished something. He discovered the anti-tank guns and the bunker. And here's the saddest part, my friends. He discovered the second artillery installation, and just like the first one, he destroys it right away. Plus, this is no good how the enemy assaults the area here, because he takes out the reinforced concrete bunker along with the artillery. I'd planned for that to interfere with his main attack. He took them both out at once because my fortifications are too close to each other. We'll need to fix that, too. The enemy has some pretty strong units. I see 2 heavy Tiger tanks, a Ferdinand assault gun, maybe 4 Panthers, and 2 Panzer IVs. This is a serious armored fist. It won't be easy to stop him. Meanwhile, the enemy continues to explore. He's lost his light armored vehicle, so he's using paratroopers. Here we see some more holes in our defenses. We'll need to remember that when we get back to base. We left the back door open. It's too easy for the enemy to land there in our territory. Our rear lines need to be strengthened. We'll use some mines and mortars. And the price we paid is a nasty bit of sabotage. They found a 3rd artillery unit, and they took him out too. That's 3 guns I lost before they even got a shot off. Plus, the enemy destroyed my middle artillery with 1 blow. Oh no, I had 2 mortars there. Well, those are the biggest problems in my defenses. We'll fix them when we get back to base. So, we've got 2 mortars left in the village, but, of course, they won't be much use in the current situation. Their heavy tank immediately takes out our anti-tank gun. And now, here's an interesting moment. See how crafty the enemy is with his grenadiers? He sends them in to take down my self-propelled gun, and they can walk right in, because these units don't have machine guns. I remember I took them here, hoping they'd be covered by the mortars that were just destroyed. So, our 3rd artillery gun just showed some signs of life. The enemy didn't destroy it completely. Well, it's gone now, and it only took 1 shot. At this point, the enemy hasn't lost any units except his scout, and I've already suffered heavy losses. I must say that the opponent plays quite well, making very good use of artillery support. Plus, he's a smart and careful explorer. So, my friends, the final moment comes. The enemy approaches the edge of my defenses. Our artillery is silent. He's suppressed it quite effectively. Meanwhile, the enemy's powerful anti-tank fist has survived. He lost only one of his Panzer IVs. He continues his artillery attack, and it's looking pretty grim. He's taking out several of our defensive units. I made some serious errors in my base defenses, so when we get back to base, we'll need to rethink things. We'll strengthen the rear, spread our defenses out, and reposition our artillery. But first, let's see how this plays out. The enemy approaches the very edge of my base. He's sending in heavy tanks to destroy the Churchill. But watch now as two of the enemy's heavy machines are destroyed. The Ferdinand and the Tiger right behind those trees. The enemy didn't know what hit them, but by now he's figured out that this area is mine. He's drawing back his units. And now he clears the mine area. He's spent his last support points on that mortar strike, but once he's cleared the mines, he'll be free to move in his heavy tanks. But no, they went around. The heavies went up and around while the Panthers are circling to the south. And it looks like those Panthers aren't doing so well. They just found another minefield. The enemy has lost his initiative. The opponent's attack has stumbled. Those tanks should already be in the middle of the base, but they're scattered and divided. One Panther is stuck in the minefield. Two others went ahead. The heavy units have suffered from the mines as well. Look, they can't stand up under fire. It's great how a minefield can stall the opponent's attack. My 76 Sherman hit the Ferdinand on its flank, a perfect shot. And we just took out the Tiger. The enemy units are falling one by one since they were already quite damaged. There won't be much left of them when this fight is over. Well, the enemy has two Panthers and his one remaining Panzer IV. He's made it deep into my territory, but I still have some forces to push him back. That Pershing there will stop him in his tracks. Well, the battle was messy, but in the end, it's who wins that matters. The enemy's assault on the base has failed thanks to a few mines in the forest. The enemy has one final Panther remaining. As you can see, the main fight went just according to plan. The defenses in this area were too strong for this enemy. Looks like the final Panther wants to cause a little trouble at our base. The enemy is fighting to the last. He wants to see what other surprises I have waiting for him. Well, a few grenades will take him out. Let's go back to base. This fight is over. So, friends, we've seen the enemy's attempt to capture my base. Now, let's address the problems we noticed. We'll start with the placement of my defenses. So here you can see the mortars are too close together. We'll need to spread them apart a little bit. One will greet them over here, and another one goes over there. We need to spread out our artillery as well. The enemy spotted my howitzer right away, so let's move it behind this building. That way, it will be a nice surprise next time. I'm using the features of the map to hide my plan until it's too late. This anti-personnel bunker can strengthen the rear part of the base. We could even put another bunker here and arrange things like this. Could even move this tank a little closer between the bunkers. We have an infantry force here in the village. I didn't even notice them in the battle. Apparently, the enemy immediately destroyed them somehow. Let's put the infantry here. Another tank will lure them out better. Let's think a little bit more about the artillery guns. I'm still not sure where to put the howitzer. Well, I could just leave it there, but let's move the other one up slightly. Then its range will be slightly closer to my headquarters. And let's move my mortar down for now. Actually, let's switch them and put the mortar here instead of the howitzer. Well, my friends, I could fine-tune it all day. You'll have plenty of chances to play around with this yourself. I just wanted to spend a little time on some changes and then see how that affects the battle. It's a rough picture of what I was after, at least. I think we're good to go. So, let's take a run at these defenses. We'll bring up the menu. Won't need a scout since there's nothing to explore. We know where everything is because it's our own base. Let's take one more heavy tank instead. Let's lead this tank fist through the upper right area and see how that goes. Let's get right into some recon. I'll assign hotkeys.
Sir, did you see a cinema at that last town?
We'll send our paratroopers to land over there while I do some more maneuvering.
Yes, I got you.
There they are, and our troops are good to go. So, let's take a look at how our rear defenses respond. Yes, that's a swift response. All right, the paratroopers were taken down quite fast. And don't worry, that was me calling in an artillery strike. Let's send another paratrooper squad since the first one was destroyed by the enemy so fast. Well, not exactly the enemy, it's our own base after all. Our heavy tanks are approaching the village. Now that the rear has been fortified, we're seeing a different picture. Our paratroopers aren't having an easy time of it. Well, we found that gun, but overall, our defenses are responding very nicely. Those tanks arrived with their machine guns and quickly shot us to ribbons. Even after 2 attempts, we couldn't infiltrate the base. Our tanks are meanwhile storming the village, and the middle tanks are taking the road along the top of the map. There's soldiers in there somewhere. Let's send them here and try to destroy the self-propelled guns like the first enemy did. I'm supporting the troops so they won't get bogged down in the fight. We need to move quickly. We can't stop because the enemy artillery isn't suppressed. And meanwhile, the infantry is assaulting the self-propelled gun. Now see how fast the mortars responded? Not like last time. When those mortars aren't suppressed, they can handle infantry units very quickly. Meanwhile, our tanks have arrived in the top right corner, and they're not stopping and not waiting for anybody. We'll just move forward and attack, bypassing the minefield. There's some heavyweights behind here somewhere. We'll just keep using artillery to support our forces. Let's try to keep moving and get through this area quickly. Here you see those hedgehog mines. They make it tough to get through, as you can see. The base is putting up quite some resistance. Those grenade throwers are going to take out our tanks. So we've suffered substantial losses. We still have 6 tanks left, but the base's defenses are pretty tough. Heavy armor on approach, and there's grenade throwers in the buildings. 4 tanks left, my friend, and we still haven't penetrated the base. I'm pretty pleased with how we built our defenses. Here, let's have a look. Did you see that? When the artillery isn't suppressed, it's very difficult to take the base. So, which tanks are those? Sherman, I think. Let's hit it. And now we have 2 tanks left, and they're not doing well. Here it is, the howitzer! Oh, it's going to hit us at point-blank range! Hurry! Oh! Yep, that's the howitzer. Well, yes, we definitely have some good defenses. I'm happy with how it all comes together. Time to wrap this battle up and head back to base. Friends, we have just experienced the defensive phase of asynchronous multiplayer. Always pay special attention to creating your defenses. Mine the approaches to your base, arrange your artillery, and dig in your tanks. Overall, just try different things and experiment, and don't forget to test your defenses. Well, in our next video, we take a closer look at Blitzkrieg's single-player mode. For now, I have to say goodbye, but remember, subscribe to our channel and we will see you again soon.